Ever catch yourself staring down the barrel of hope, only to have it smacked away by the cold, brutal reality? Like watching your favorite team lace up their cleats, ready to run, only to see one by one the players vanish into the shadows before the battle even begins. Detroit's Lions, our battered heroes, bleed in silence this training camp start, and the whispers are louder than the roar we crave. This isn't just another injury report. It's a gut punch echoing through the heart of Allen Park, shaking the foundations of a season that barely feels like it started. Light up the comments if you're not ready to fold, if you believe even in the darkest storms Detroit's football heart still beats fierce. Insiders have been low-key, but the truth slips through like a jagged crack. Taylor Decker, the very cornerstone of our offensive line, is sidelined. Yes, again, and for an undisclosed injury that fans have every right to fear. A name like that, the protector of Stafford and the fortress for our offense, down before a single snap sends shivers through the collective chest of every Lions fan. But Decker alone isn't the only star flickering on the injured list. Behind closed doors, fear creeps deeper. Levi Onwuzurike, the wolf in our defensive line's den, placed on the reserve pup list, slated to miss at least the first 4 games of the regular season. Remember that back injury? The one that haunted him through 3 brutal seasons, needing fusion surgery that felt more like a desperate gamble than a cure? Onwuzurike returned last season defying odds, setting career highs in sack pressure, promising a Lions defense reloaded and ready to roar. Now, that flame flickers uncertainly once again. This isn't just bad luck. It's a knife twisting in the gut of a defense that was starting to look like a nightmare for quarterback nightmares. Across the league, we've stared into the abyss of heartbreak since '91, a city trained in suffering, battle scars etched into the soul of our fandom. From the ashes of coaching eras that carried more pain than pride, this team fights for redemption, for a season that feels like it could break the cycle of despair. But what if these injuries spell doom? What if Decker and Onwuzurike's setbacks reverberate beyond the locker room and into the very soul of this team? What if the offensive line, already fighting for cohesion, crumbles beneath the weight? What if the defense, bleeding from the middle, can't muster the chaos it once promised? It's more than just a physical absence. It's a loss of identity. A challenge to the very rebirth so many of us believed was closer than ever. And then the ripple expands. Alan McNeil and Malcolm Rodriguez, fighting post-ACL demons that could keep them sidelined well past the season's dawn. Cornerbacks limping into camp, rookies trying to claw their way back from the edge. The specter of Frank Ragnow, officially moved to the retired list, looms like a ghost, carving another hole in the line, in the heart, in the Detroit offense that needed every ounce of grit it could muster. Each name on these lists isn't just a player. They're pillars of hope fracturing beneath the weight of expectation and injury. But here's the cruel twist. The fuse has been lit long before the first punt. Aidan Hutchinson standing tall, despite the market-shaking contracts of the Warriors around him, remains Detroit's blazing edge rusher beacon, carrying hopes that even as teammates falter, the defense can still find a way to ignite. And yet, the silence around Tate Ratledge's unsigned contract looms like another crack in the armor. A rookie who should be sprinting onto the field, tentatively locked out of camp workouts. We're witnessing a crucible moment, Detroit. Test of our collective steel. Will this roster of battered Warriors rise like a phoenix with bloodied wings? Or will the domino effect start a collapse none of us want to imagine? What if this is the last real shot before the window slams shut? Before this core is splintered beyond recognition? And if this domino falls, you won't believe who's next. Because if this move hits, this injury epidemic turns into a season-long siege, Detroit's not just coming back, we're coming for blood. And now the fuse is lit. All that's left is to wait for the explosion. Snap the chains. Detroit destiny doesn't wait for the timid. We're at a crossroads where every heartbeat hurts with hope and despair tangled into one raw, feral scream. This season isn't just about wins and losses. It's a battlefield where the ghost of '91 still haunts our stadium, whispering warning. After warning, it's a cycle of suffering that refuses to die. And yet here we are, fighting like hell to break free from it. The locker room's tense rival teams smell blood in the water, and the NFC North stands united in silent confidence, knowing our stars are battered, broken, and limping into battle-decker down. Onward Zurich ghosted from the line, McNeil and Rodriguez battling injuries that could extend into months of darkness, while rookies like Ratledge stare at a locked door that could be the difference between a shot at Ed, redemption, or a season lost in the fog. Our front office, once kings of calculated gambles, is now grasping at straws, swinging for redemption with every bad break, every injury, every shattered hope echoing from Allen Park's saga of heartbreak. We remember the heartbreaks, Calvin's retirement shattering our dreams, Barry's departure ripping out our core, those moments when the city's soul bled through every corner of Ford Field, every street corner, every fan's broken heart. Still, we fought Caldwell's firing, the 0-16 nightmare, the countless playoff heartbreaks where hope flickered just before the fall, each scar a badge of loyalty, each pain a reminder that Detroit never quits even when the odds stack higher than the Lions' own history of drowning in tragedy. But this season, it's more personal. This injury wave might wash away everything, dismantle the rebuild we fought so desperately to believe in. Who's really next? Will Hutchinson's firepower carry us when our defense's backbone collapses? Can we cling to the slivers of hope in a roster that looks more like a war zone with every passing day? The whispers in the locker room say it's all slipping the chemistry, the faith, the dream of finally shaking off the chains of despair that have haunted us since that infamous 0-16 season when every game seemed like a march toward oblivion. We've bled through the gut-wrenching losses, the seasons where silence reigned and fans wondered if doors had really closed on our shot at Gloria, an FL franchise that's known more abandonment than triumph, more heartbreak than redemption. Now, with every star limping, every rookie waiting in the shadows, the question roars like a lion in a cage. Can they rally? Can this battered, scarred team find the fire within when the world is watching and telling us to give up? We look back at last season's playoff push to hope, the steal, the moments where we played like a team possessed, only to be snatched away by a collapse so brutal it still leaves scars. We faced the ghosts of blowout losses, the scrutiny of fans demanding more, but this isn't just about the season. It's about the soul of Detroit's football heart pounding against odds that threaten to drown us once again. The front office's chess game has never been tougher. Every move now feels like it's teetering on the edge of a cliff. What if the injuries stack higher and the locker room's unity shatters? What if this is the moment when everything we built, the hopes, the dreams, the relentless grit starts to crumble beneath the weight of these calamities? The NFL is a brutal game, and Detroit's never been shy about facing brutality head-on. What's coming next could define the franchise. Forever will it be salvation or annihilation? The answers hang in the balance, and as the players sweat in the sweltering camp heat, you can't help but wonder, are we witnessing the breaking point, or the moment when Detroit Lions finally rise from the ruins and roar back into relevance? Because if this fall to despair happens, if this injury storm swallows us whole, it's not just a season loss, it's the end of an era, and Detroit's waiting for the last shot to turn it all around, or watch it all burn.